Hi, Jamie here. So, you're probably not used to me speaking in English. If you watch our videos, which you should, there's someone banging something in front of my apartment door. Okay, now we can continue. So you're not used to me speaking in English in our videos or no content in English at all. So let me explain why. I opened this segment called English for Geeks because, okay, I'm one of the co-founders of this website, but basically my whole adult life I've dedicated to ESL. English as a second language. And like telling a little bit about my story that normally people ask how I got fluent in English. It's a very common question. Actually, I'm gonna send this video to them now. Like, oh, how did you learn English? I'm gonna send this video. It's gonna save me some time. But anyway, I'm self-taught. Maybe I'm good at this stuff, or maybe because I was poor and then I couldn't go to an English school. But anyway, when I was a kid, there wasn't a lot of access to dub things or subtitle things in Portuguese. So I was kind of obligated to understand in English. I'm not that old, but I think the games I used to play started to have subtitles like around PS2. I started playing video games with Super Nintendo. So I wanted to know the instructions, and why I was saving Princess Peach was not a very good story. But I wanted to know why she was not in the castle, for example, every single time we finished a world of Mario Bros. 3. But anyway, I taught myself by a lot of books. I grew up in the house of my grandparents. There, I had some aunts living there, and my mom, and they studied a lot, so they had many books. Some of my aunts went to English schools. So what I did was I used to read this book and try to teach myself. And I got access to the internet and dial-up internet. So you see that I'm old. Dial-up internet is basically, if you don't know, that internet that blocks the phone line, you know? The landline, and it was very expensive, and during the night it was less expensive. And it took like a day to download a song. Yeah, hard times. The struggle was real. I had contact to all kinds of material. So I loved entertainment in English, Hollywood entertainment. So, and like I said, there was like dubbed option or the original audio. There wasn't even the option of subtitles in Portuguese very much. So I used to watch a lot of American TV series in the original audio. So I had to force myself to understand. Of course, I always loved languages, and English is not a difficult language. If you compare to Latin languages, English is kind of simple. Latin languages are, for example, Portuguese, Spanish, French. Like, they have conjugation, not English. English doesn't. But of course, no language is simple per se. So I started to put pieces together, and I went to university and I studied translation and interpreting. And I had some pretty awesome professors because most of the professors were not traditional in the way of teaching. My professors were very open-minded in the way of how we learned and how they taught. That was very important to me because later in life I was going to teach at a school for a long time, a pretty good school, and with a very modern methodology. So it was very good to me to get that things from college. I studied translation and interpreting, and I specialized very much in phonetics and language acquisition. Maybe that's why I went to the field of ESL, English as a second language, because I'm so fascinated how you absorb a language and how you get fluent in a language. But also, just so you understand, I've been teaching and being a school director for many years. So I stopped translating a little bit and interpreting a little bit, but in the beginning of my career I worked a lot with that, and it was very interesting because it taught me that when you translate something, languages are unique, and each language has its own peculiarity. And when you are speaking in English, you really have to think in English, and you have to understand the culture of English-speaking countries. There's influence of culture, so this is pretty interesting. The methodology that I've taught my whole life is a methodology that involves multi-level students when I teach in a classroom. So no matter the level of the student, they're all together. Of course, there's a whole methodology, there's a whole background there, to support it. That's why I said the school is very good. But nowadays, I've changed a little bit my career, and I'm working more with social media. I still teach not just regular English, but I teach people translation techniques or phonetics, or I support or some support for people that are in university studying languages or translation and interpreting, and so on. So pretty much that's why I decided to open this segment on this website. English for Geeks is the name. I'm gonna post some videos giving you some hints, and of course, if you want more details about my resume and about my online classes, they're in this article. And I hope you like the videos I'll post with some hints. So see you next time.